My third guy plays some games.
Alright, hi y'all, Weather Guy here, and we are back with some more gosh darn Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we discovered the identity was Pavlova. We searched all this cabin, and we realized that she was stealing a tiara, and she was basically an escapee, but we still don't have any confirmation on what caused Kazuma's death. I assume that it's a snake that is within the case in this room, but I'm not sure about what the intent is, because this person doesn't seem to have any reason to want to kill Kazuma. But at the same time, her case, it's probably her snake in there, so I'm unsure about where this is going next. I believe we were about to go back to our room. Oh no, we need to talk to her some more. Do that. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. Sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. I see. That's not useful. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. Start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I don't know. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Dude, my voice is already hurting. Uh-oh. Yes, and the crew of the ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. Alright. That is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova. It creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Ryu? Me? Yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. I'm not sure, but... Fantastic. This game really does mostly play itself, but I'm still having a lot of fun. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. Ah. However, the SS Beria stopped by no port last night. Oh. Interesting. Oh, that's it. Of course. How is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Interesting. Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business. I didn't seem particularly strange, honestly. Yes, you're right. You did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It's how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel. What? Dropped off like by helicopter or something? That would be crazy. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Dude, I love that look that she gives, where that slight head tilt, it's incredible. Just so, like, it's a mix of, like, confused and pitying, and, I don't know. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. Genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Oh, that was Ria's voice. Inner monologue. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Well, the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh, please don't tell any of the crew if they found my precious. Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah! Oh, reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? Little puppy, it is, isn't it? No. Maybe an adorable little rabbit? It's definitely a snake. No. Ha! You credit Russia as the land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may well ask. I have no idea. Dude, this guy just loves to hear himself talk. It's so funny. He just says shit. And then the immediate... He just also... What's the word? He buckles very quickly. As well. Whenever he realizes that he's wrong somehow, he's just like, oh, yeah, I was totally fucking wrong. Huh. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerinas' friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken! Really? It's not a chicken, no chance. Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. You'd eat your friends? I'll remember that. No, not the chicken. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. That wasn't funny at all. Obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. There's nothing else in here to look at, is there? What all have we looked at? We haven't looked in here yet. We just came in here and started talking. Well, let's see if there's something we want to show her first. Is it a collar pin that shows that we're a student? Unlikely. Paper seal? Unlikely. Crime scene photograph. What I think it's going to be is the diary that talks about the Speckled Band, which she would realize is a snake. Also the faint whistling sound, I forgot about that. This is a diary of my friend who passed away. Diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And a few minutes later, 35 a.m. what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled Band, I don't understand. Strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins this cabin, you see? It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you, or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Doubtful. I don't believe her. What's this? Excuse me, Mr. Roylott. Yes, what? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright. I will come now. What? Must leave. Now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out, or you want me to throw you out. Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. Oh, I should have looked before I presented. Blech. What a pity. I'm really intrigued by all the things that were knocked off the shelf, because it happened in both rooms. So we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Fantastic. Oh man, I was so close to a to be continued last time. Oh, that's shameful. I could have finished. It's okay, we're gonna keep going, don't worry. Oops, not there. Perfect. 9th January, SS Buria, first class, cabin, passage, way. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. Really glaring at us as if to say, don't think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Oh, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh, yes! He's completely disappeared. How did he do that? It slipped away as quietly as the wind. Not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Interesting. Let's examine. Nothing new. Mousetrap's still the same. We can go back to our room. Maybe talk to him. Anything new on this side? Seemed to be. He's still guarding that door. I doubt we would be able to go out that way. Maybe we try talking to him. I really wish we had a chance to look around at Miss Pavlova's cabin. Our buddy Beef Stroganoff. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again? Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand. Alright. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face. I don't think he'll ever forget your face. You. Alright, let's go in the room. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Yeah. We had this conversation already. Oh yeah, Hasunaga's in there. Can't go in there? Oh my god. Oh, it's move, isn't it? I picked the wrong option. No, I did it again. I'm such a fool. I A-clicked way too many times there. Alright, so we go back. Go to move. Go to Kazuma's cabin. Looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Asanaga is unscathed. What do you mean unscathed? Surely you haven't forgotten, have you? You know who she reminds me of, actually? Alright. She reminds me of, like, it's actually really random. Luna Lovegood. From the Harry Potter series. Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of the cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the cabin about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He has some new information for us. I don't know. Where's our buddy? Anything new to look at? Seemingly not. Oh, the body looks... Look at this again? Interesting. It's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilt on the floor. They spell the Russian word for wardrobe. It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Ryu, as you were sleeping in there. But to be truly ambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma would have written his last words or word in Russian. Begs the question of who did write it. That is actually a very good point. Look over here some more. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments writing his diary. 1:23 a.m. Faint whistling sound. Blah 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 blah. Speckled Band. Blah 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 blah. Alright. You know, his writing here on this page. Almost impossible to believe that he's gone. Kazuma left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Ryu. We will. Alright. Look at this stuff again. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you? You had to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabin leads to damage. It really wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway, I feel much better now they're neatly lined up. I can relax when things are untidy. Can't relax. She said right. Oh, there's two dudes in here. Oh no, that's Hasanaga. Oh, hi, I didn't see you over there, bud. Up here again. This ventilator joins Miss Pavlova's cabin. Yes, that's right. Just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. Speckled Band, as he described it. If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are. Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I'm not sure. I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there's something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. So true. Alright, let's talk to this guy over here first. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hasanaga did. That's new Japanese, was it? Later I will roll him into ball and throw him in courtroom. Oh, he's gone back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Asanaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. That could be a very long time from now, Ryu. True, because we gotta take the ship all the way back. Alright, let's talk to Asanaga, see if he has any. He's bruised up. Oh no! You're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. What a hero. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. It's like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh? I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Now let's compare our notes, dude. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? I'm dying still. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh, how? That was the wrong voice. Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oh, no, I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? No. I'm being honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. What? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. Tell us that new information, baby. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. Buria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, it was a post-mortem report. Zuma. So, what was the cause of death? Poison. Venom. Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. Oh, we got the music that picks up. Oh, I love when this music kicks in. Alright. His neck was broken. Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. They were first considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Oh, what weapon was used then? Poison was found in his body. Again? Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. Strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. There's a possibility and no obvious wound would be left. Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Alright, let's look at it. in a second. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes. It's one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish! That's all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. How could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Susato? Well, Kazuma was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? Sort of dark brownish red, then. Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Interesting. Dude, this guy died all over this cabin. Surely all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best, thank you. Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. No. Well, I'm dying. I feel terrible that I failed to protect Kazuma. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. Head? Interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Maybe we were both drugged in some way. Interesting. Very interesting. And we look at that, so that's more probably. Let's look over here, make sure there's nothing else. Okay. It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. Looks like whatever it was has broken clean in two. The other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's the brick-colored mark. Shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about. I suppose it must be from Kazuma's shoes. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish, not something else? Because he's a great detective, of course! It's hardly a reason, is it? Hardly a reason, I agree. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. But bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. She called it her friend, didn't she? Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as yet. I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin. Friend. More to this than it seems, I think. Alright. Back. Where do we go now? What do? I'm gonna go back to the passageway. I don't think there's anything else to do in this room. Maybe Sherlock Holmes shows back up. Ah! Look, Ryu! Demon Stroganoff has gone! Strong. enough? The burly Russian sailor is always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Oh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. What's interesting about this case, by the way, compared to the first one, is the first case was all shot in third-person perspective. We always had a picture of Ryu, right? And all his silly, nervous expressions. This time, this time, we are all in a first-person perspective. So we don't get to see all of Ryu's reactions. Did you hear that? There was a tra-la-la. It sounded like someone singing. La-la-la-lee-ra-lee-ra-lay. I did it the great detective way. I wonder if he's drunk. It's caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin when we can and investigate. Definitely, before that stringy knot crewman comes back. It's Stroganoff, not stringy knot! Before I go on, I want to look at these items. Okay. So between 1 a.m. and a little past 2 a.m. Nothing showing up with the magnifying glass. Okay. Wait. Go in there. Let's go see what we're working with. Pavlova isn't back yet. Sato, oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. You must investigate as quickly as possible. I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Dude, she just hauled butt in there. Not just for Kazuma. I mean, can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Ryu. By ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Alright, now it's time to examine. We got a lot of stuff we can look at. This is new. Probably open for a reason. Probably something important in there. Let's look left to right. Save the most important thing for last. I know what this is. That's the whistling sound. The teapot. It was cooking and then it started whistling, for sure. It seems this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are a very thirsty people. Or, because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Ryu? Right. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor. It doesn't look like it's been dropped. I feel like it was put there deliberately. Like for a frickin' pet. Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here? A leak? Terrible conclusion. Is this ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, doesn't mean the whole ship is gonna sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? 1,000,000% just to feed the pet. I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket. Shall we have a look and see what's been thrown away? Ryu! It's poor etiquette to go sifting through someone's rubbish, you know. Ah, those eyes. It's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice! Yeah, we gotta see what's in the trash can, dude. Hardly anything in here at all. Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. Really? Also, the case is a very important thing to look at, too, that we'll get to shortly. There are just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it. Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. It's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Dude, that's such a good bit. Just like seeming so confident about the information you're about to impart, and it's just like, of course the Russian girl likes reading books in Russian. There's nothing useful to be gained from this because we don't speak Russian. It's rude to ask too much of people, Rio. Kindly remember that. Alright, here we go. It's an important moment. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open! Oh shoot! Completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. So you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Burya. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. More to the point, where is it now? The snake. Where's the snake? Snake! I really need to play the Metal Gear Solid game. Would y'all be interested in seeing that, by the way? Me playing through, like, the Metal Gear Solid series? I'm kind of interested in trying that. Now that I think about it. It's a lot of fun. Consider it. Recently, a friend suggested to play the King's Quest 3 remake. And I think that game looks really beautiful, and it would be probably the next JRPG I play, if not Final Fantasy game. So I'm considering starting doing that after this series ends, which won't be probably till like May. Because this is like a 66-hour series, and it's 3 hours a week or so of recording, so, you know, long time. But yeah, I'm considering that. We'll see. Anyway, back to the game. Sorry for the tangent. By the way, I realized that whenever I play this game, I'm still on the tangent. I don't address y'all nearly as much as I should. And the reason for that is I'm constantly talking about whatever the characters are saying, because this game is 95% dialogue, right? There's not much choice, there's not much that I need to actually functionally do in this game to progress. You know what I mean? It's more like we're all watching a bunch of stories together, and I'm sort of the terrible voice of them. And occasionally I give my input and things like that on what I think is going to happen and stuff. But a lot of it is just me reading the lines the best I can. And hoping that I do them in an entertaining enough way for you, you know. Trying my darndest. And once again, all the books are toppled over though. That's very interesting. Every single one. Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. Exactly the same as the bookcase next door. Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against a bookcase. No. I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage? Not everything bad that happens on this ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. They're definitely all going to fall again at some point, and it's going to be a big moment because it's going to reveal something. You have this sign in here about the pets. Yep. I don't think I really need to read this. We know what it says. We know what it says. Oh, I guess I can read this part. I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. A special friend, I mean. I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. Probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard. Yes, so do I. Dude, Seaman Stroganoff is gonna get bit by the snake and die. 1,000,000%. Now let's check out this stuff over here. There's one of these next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin, too. Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist. Barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. Oh, I wonder if this triggers the snake to appear. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. This ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although what a fool shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room. Maybe. So that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. I don't know. Alright. I think this is going to be an important piece here, because we weren't able to investigate this before. Are you there? Sorry? I'm right here. Yes? Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. What a joker, dude. Oh my god. She's so funny. She thinks she's like the cock of the walk, dude. Love that phrase. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there. No such luck. Alright, so I think this signals to me that it's time to look at this door. And if there's nothing with this door, we go back into the hallway. Something else happens. As is the way of the world. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. Bolts drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across of its own accord, would it? No, the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to a bolt outside. And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. You couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through the crack around the closed door either. A lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Alright, let's go back. Let's move again. Passageway. Nothing in here. Oh, hang on. Let me look real quick. Very curious. Maybe there would be something. What are you doing, bud? Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look! You never know where he's gonna turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Was he already here and I just missed it earlier? Tra-la-la-lee-lee-lee, I did the great detective way. Still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply in extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck out. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, now it's just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never gonna stop, so I figured now is as good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now, could you put those fists away? Let's talk, buddy. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard. Oh, yes, the ship's log. Did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman off-stand sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. You mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Ship's log has been entered in the court record. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. You're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes Sholmes? Brilliance! Oh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Alright, so that's everybody basically getting a throbbing head. I don't think Sasudo has mentioned it yet, so that's interesting. Sasunaga had it as well. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. Dude, this guy is just crazy. Still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Something wrong, Sasato? You seem lost in thought. It's just... Well, I feel the same. Sorry? Oh, no, she's been singing it now, too. Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of headache. Oh! 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 It's not... What if it's not? What if it's not? What if it's not medicine? Or what if it's not like a poison that they all were given? What if it's not something like that? But what if it's actually what was alluded to a bit ago? A gas leak. What if there's a gas leak on the ship and that's what's causing these headaches? I felt pretty good about that, actually. Because how would somebody reasonably poison everybody, right? Assuming that's what's happening. Right? Sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Interesting. Try this? That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Ah, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Alright, worth a look. But we have a new option here as well. It's Pavlova's cabin. This could be our chance. What? Oh, we already did this. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, we haven't been back into our cabin yet. Do that. I've been to our cabin in a bit. Our starting cabin. Let's go back in there. If there's any developments. Doesn't seem to be. But, is this the guy who does the... Maybe this is something we can talk to him. Log. Doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be anything useful there. Okay. Then we'll go back to the, other cabin. Oh man, it's the alarm. What's that? Oh baby. Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop, hard starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? Oh my god. I can't stand. Sato! What the fuck? What a twist! Sato, you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Ryu. Everything has fallen again. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Ryu? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Dr. Hasanaga. Is that you in there, Rio? Unbolt the door, quickly! What? The bolt? Things are clicking. Things are clicking. In that, the snake might not have actually caused the problem. What may have happened is another very sharp turn by the ship, which caused the bolt to relock itself after the killer left the room. Door's bolted. Did you do that, Sasato? No, I didn't touch it. That's strange. How did... And get all the books. Just like they were before again. Neil, aren't you gonna open the door and let the inspector in? Better tidy this place up first. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery, at least, in a very vivid way. But I knew that what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Perfect! Yes, this is a lovely place to stop. Oh, yeah! Things are coming together. The snake might not actually be the killer. I think it's going to end up being a Russian. I think it's going to end up being a Russian who wrote the message, and the snake is a red herring. Very interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out today. Continuing to make good progress in this game and having a blast. Make sure that you take care of yourselves. Make sure that you take care of others. Do a good deed today, you know? Give someone a compliment. That's all I got. See you next time. Peace out.